Hey, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to your live Investment Dominator Q&A call. My name is Warren Davis, and we're here on Monday. This is the 14th of September, 2020, and we are so glad to be here with you on this beautiful Monday. We hope everybody had a great weekend and that you have had so far a prosperous Monday. If you have to get back to work, and hopefully things are going well there. Going to begin just to clear up just a little housekeeping situations. I want to make sure that everybody can see my Investment Dominator screen. Hopefully you can hear my voice. Um, we are, thank you, Jason. Thank you. Okay, so I'm coming through. We're here. You can see the Investment Dominator screen where you have a lot of input and output from Investment Dominator. Those of you that are brand new joining us today, we've got quite a few on the call today. So I'm assuming that some of those are brand new folks. We're here to get your questions answered all about the Investment Dominator. We do handle some business questions, but we like to keep them as much as possible centered around Investment Dominator. For you to be able to send in your questions, please do the following. You have your control box. I want you to type in, hopefully before you send in your question, right before your question, if you would type in the word question and maybe a colon and then state your question. That helps me distinguish between questions and comments. Or you can use a question mark. Either one, that works quite well. Or you can just put the letter Q, maybe in a colon, and you can also type out your questions. Then you hit send, and it will send the question directly to me and or the comment. Those of you that, if you see the little hand signal, don't worry about raising the hand. I normally don't see that, and we do have a couple of questions that we're going to get answered, and looks like we've already had some answers. Great from our last Q&A. I'm going to be going through a few of the. I am going to go. Thank you, Tom, for pointing that out. That you got your question answered. We're going to be going through a few clarification issues with the notes section, and as you calculate how exactly Investment Dominator does calculate those payments. So we'll be going through that later on just for clarification's sake and answer some other questions that we've had coming in from the ticketing system. Okay. So also in the way of housekeeping before we get started with our Investment Dominator screen, as you can see, we're going to bring our Investment Dominator over and we're going to start going through. This is a Monday, so we'll be going through the big three. First of all, the big three items that's required for you to get set up in the Investment Dominator. And before you start doing business with the Investment Dominator, we're going to be looking at the big three items. Before we do that, just by way of announcement, just to make sure we have clarification, I don't want anybody to think that I'm personally going to be, being antisocial. If you're on Facebook and you send in questions, because what I get every now and then from my wife mainly, who mans our Facebook account. We normally use Facebook for our buyers of property, and we don't really use Facebook kind of the way it's traditionally used, for personal communication back and forth. And we don't use Facebook. I don't answer questions, Investment Dominator related questions on Facebook. Just want you to know that in case you're sending in. We still have students that are sending in some questions through Facebook, and they're thinking that it's me on there, and I'm not the one that keeps an eye on Facebook. So I don't want you to think I'm being antisocial or I'm ignoring your question. I simply don't have the bandwidth to follow and look at all the Facebook communications. So anyway, I hope I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Just please, if you are a coaching student, you have my coaching email. Please use my coaching email, and that will suffice. We do have a 2-day workshop coming up. As those of you that are on this call, hopefully, maybe several of you are on this call, and you're going to get prepared for that 2-day workshop coming up on October 7th and 8th, which is, I believe, a Wednesday and a Thursday. And that 2-day workshop, I just want to reiterate, as coming from customer service and the powers that be, that it's very important to have these big three set up, and I'm going to go through what those are. But when I share these with you, I'll show you where you can get them recorded. Please make sure that you have these completed before you come to the 2-day workshop. So even a couple of days before you come to the 2-day workshop, so that we can make sure that you are ready for that 2-day workshop and you're ready to do your business with the Investment Dominator. Okay, I can't stress enough, without those 3 done, and especially coming to the 2-day workshop, if you don't have those 3 completed, it puts behind the entire workshop, because we have to take time and stop and make sure everyone gets especially their buying and selling sites configured, which I will be going through here in a moment. So of the big 3, the first one that we want you to have completed is your profile information here. And I've got a couple of accounts set up. So profile. So up here on your main menu, after you log in, you will be able to go through the tour. If you're logging into the Investment Dominator for the first time, there'll be a tour that pops up. Some of you just got the Investment Dominator possibly last week or within the last couple of weeks, and you're just really getting started. So the first part of the setup, the big 3, is to have your profile. We want you to put in your first name, last name, which should be default there. And this is a personal email address. This is not an email address that's going to go out on any of your correspondence out of Investment Dominator. So if you would put in a personal email address, all of this personal profile information is for the office to contact you in the event that they want to share some pertinent information with you. It will not be used. It won't go out to any of your customers. So please put your personal email address and also a personal phone number, like a cell phone or a home phone, into this phone number. Determine what you're going to use, and please make sure this is updated. Then obviously your time zone area. Select the correct time zone. Now what we do want you to do is also to upload a signature if you have one on your computer. And those of you will know, if you have a signature that you've already saved on your computer, you can upload it. The issue is there, a lot of times people are trying, it forces you to crop that signature. So once you select the signature, you have to crop it. And that's why a lot of folks don't want to use the uploading signature feature. Majority, 98% of you, are probably going to generate your signature by left clicking on generate signature, simply typing in your name, all right, first and last name, and selecting one of our fonts here. So one of the questions we get right away is, can I upload my own personal font into Investment Dominator? Unfortunately, the answer is no. You must use one of our fonts from the drop down. So you can play around with it and decide which one you like that looks the best. All right, see, as you can see, we have a series of them. It changes your signature. We recommend that you leave it black and white. Leave your signature black and white because that's the least expensive to print, obviously. If you do go color, you will end up incurring a cost. So we ask you to leave it black and white. But some folks want to do color. So if you do, there's a black color bar. Just left click. It will create a color spectrum that you can select. Say if you want a nice blue, or if you want it to be in the green family, just select that first, and then select one of the exact shades that you want your signature to be. The bar will change to that color. Then just left click outside of that signature area, and the system colors your signature. And then all you do at this point is just hit insert signature. As you can see, it brings it in. Now, Investment Dominator will only allow you to have one signature per login. So if you're a husband and wife team and you want to have your signature as well as your wife's signature, and you're both going to be logging in, you'll need to set up 2 different user IDs. And when you set up 2 different user IDs in the system, then each of you will get your own login, your own profile, and you'll need to come in and put in your signature. FYI, they say ladies' signatures do receive a better open rate for those of you that are brand new. So if you do have access to your wife's signature or your partner is a female, they said for the open rate for the neutral letters, it works out better to use a woman's signature. So I'd recommend that you put her signature. Now, all you do at this point, once your signature comes in, is simply hit update and it will save your signature. And I won't do it here so that it won't wipe out my signature. Okay, so that's the first number one of the big three, is to set up your profile information. Please do this prior to sending out any letters because Investment Dominator will pull this signature for any documents that go out of Investment Dominator. That's another reason why we want to make sure you have a signature already populated in the system. So please do that before you come to the 2-day workshop and before you actually start doing business out of the Investment Dominator. All right, the second item for the big three that we'd like to have you complete is under Customize menu here, and it's company information. And as you can see on my screen, we have your company information. I'm going to start with the company email, which is an email address that all your company correspondence will go to. So I want you to have an email address set up. Do you need to purchase one through like a .com or excuse me, a domain provider? No, you don't need to. You can use a Gmail address or you can use a Yahoo address. You know, if it has your company name in there, that's fine. Or it can be just any company email that you want all of your company correspondence to go to. So please set up that company email first, and then you have a company name. Now, this, as you can see, has an LLC, but if you don't have an LLC set up, you can, and it's safe to go DBA, doing business as, and you can put your first and last name in there. This will suffice for a time until such time where you get your company name or your LLC set up. So you can just say DBA, your first and last name, and then your correspondence will go out as DBA Bill Blass, all right? Want to make sure that that's clear. Okay. And now, so far as your company address is concerned, please make sure that you have a address that is not your home address. Anything other than your home address, any address, we would really prefer that you have a P.O. box at maybe a UPS store that you set up, but we don't want you to say P.O. box. So if you get it at your local post office, this may be the address that they give you back. We really don't want that. We'd like you to go to maybe a UPS store or some other store that will give you a mailbox, and that number will be, this address here will be the address of that UPS store, right? Something like that. And then they usually give you a box number, but they call it a suite. So they might say suite, 563. All right, so that'll actually correspond to your P.O. box. We don't want you to put the letters P.O. box. That's frowned upon. It looks more like junk mail to our customers. So once you have the address to that box, put that in there, and then the city, of course, state, and zip. And please refrain from using your home address because sellers or buyers can get a little silly, and you don't want them sending you any correspondence or anything, because they're upset at the offer you sent them, etc. Okay, so that's your company email, company name, and your address. And now we'll look at your phone systems. As you can see, or as you may know, there are 3 different phones represented in your company information. All right, you have a company phone and you have an offer phone. These 2 phones are for your sellers of property. So we're recommending a company, and this is just one configuration. Please understand that. This is only one configuration where you have a company that gives you a phone number, and that's called Ring Central. Ring Central can give you one phone number and two extensions. You can see that the phone number for my offer phone is the same phone number as my company phone. The company phone is the phone that Investment Dominator, when your neutral letters go out of Investment Dominator, your neutral letters, for those of you that are brand new, is your first communication that goes out of Investment Dominator to your customers, where you mail out your letters saying, hey, I'm interested in purchasing your property. So this, whatever phone number you put in here, will print out on those neutral letters. That's why we want to make sure before you start doing business that you have your phone system set up. Ring Central will give you one phone number and two extensions. Extension 1 is primarily for people that just received a neutral letter. They're interested in you sending them an offer, so they're going to call back this number, press extension 1. With Ring Central, you'll be able to record a voicemail that says, hello, this is XYZ company. Sorry, we're unavailable to take your call in person. Please press extension 1 if you're interested in selling us your land. Press extension 2 if we've sent you an offer and you want to discuss that offer or accept our offer. They'll press extension 2. If they press extension 1, that will maybe forwarded to a company called Pat Live, which is a call center. There's another company called Smith AI. That's another call center. Or a company called callme.com. That's a third call center that individuals who hit extension 1, they're forwarded to that call. That call is forwarded to that call center, and they'll pick up that call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, keep in mind, folks, you don't have to have a call center in place. If you want to take your own neutral letter calls, when they hit extension 1, this will simply be forwarded to a phone number that you specify. It could be a cell phone, etc. But we recommend that you use a call center because phone calls comes in all hours of the night, early in the morning, etc. from your neutral letter. Keep in mind that Ring Central now, who gives you a number, one number and two extensions, this is a separate company from Pat Live or Smith AI. Some students get the impression this is the same company. Ring Central is a phone system, right? Pat Live or Smith AI, these are call centers. So these are two different companies represented here. So in order to make this configuration work, you will have to get an account with Ring Central, one number, two extensions. You'll have to get a separate account with Pat Live or Smith AI to be your call center. So I just want to make sure you understand your call center is not the same as Ring Central. Okay, if they hit extension 2, they call the same number, but they hit extension 2. They will be forwarded, they can be forwarded to a Google Voice or a Skype number or some other cell phone that you designate. So that is how your sellers, now keep in mind your company phone and your offer phone, these are sellers of property, people that are going to sell you their property. That's why they can have the same phone number and two extensions. Now the third phone that is represented in your company information is your selling site phone. These are your buyers of property. That's why it is all separate. It's a separate phone altogether. It can be an independent like cell phone that you have if you got a cell phone laying around or you have one that you want to purchase inexpensive that can take unlimited talk and texting. This will be for your selling site phone. This number will appear on your selling site, and we have a separate phone number that is only for people who want to purchase land. These are your buyers of property here. So you definitely want to keep your buyers of property separate from your sellers of property. Please understand, you do not want these two folks to, or two markets of people to mix. You don't want your buyer calling your company phone or your offer phone and having to hit an extension to get you on the phone. You really want a phone that is dedicated to your buyers. By the way, we don't give out this selling site phone to family or friends or associates. This is strictly reserved for people that want to buy property. So when that phone rings, we automatically know it is someone interested in purchasing property. Let me show you a configuration of what I'm speaking of here. Simple configuration here where we have Ring Central, gives you one local number, remember with two extensions. So extension 1 can be forwarded to Pat Live because those are your callers that are calling from the neutral letter. Extension 2, you've sent the folks an offer and they're calling you back to discuss that offer. That can be forwarded to a cell phone or Google Voice or Skype, whatever you may choose. Now, Ring Central can also get you a separate number for your buyers of property, right? Your selling site phone. They can do that. I think the additional cost is like $5, maybe $6 for an additional number. So for this setup, it's averaging right around $36, $37 a month at this time to get up this kind of central. So this kind of setup. So you'll have one phone number for your sellers of property, and you'll have a separate phone number for your buyers of property. And those can be forwarded to any phone number you desire, okay? So that's the way it would look in terms of a picture. Okay, folks, so once you get that set up in your phone system, I just want to also encourage you before you send out any letters, so before you do any mailings, test out your phone systems. Make sure that if you call this number and you hit extension 1, that it's forwarded to Pat Live or wherever you intend it to be forwarded to. Make sure that that works because that's going to be the experience your customers have. We've had several individuals that have sent out letters before they tested their phone systems, found out they weren't set up correctly, and they end up losing calls. So that's really a waste of your money because you're mailing to people, they're calling back, but they're not getting the right person. So you're losing that lead, okay? So please make sure you test this. Test your offer phone. Go in, hit extension 2, make sure it's forwarded to the right phone. And then obviously test your selling site phone to make sure that it goes to the right phone for your buyers of property. That's a big one. You don't want to mess up on that one. Finally, put in your company time zone. Select your company time zone. And if you are a broker or an agent, or if someone in your company is a broker or an agent, this must be disclosed. So here's one that we have in defaults in Investment Dominator. You'll have to hit yes if you've got such a person in your group, and then use this, or you can modify this disclosure. And then once you're finished, hit update site. Make sure you get the green site is updated message here, and you'll be all set with your company information. All right, hope that's somewhat clear. And okay, so we do have some questions coming in, which seem like they're phone related, but not on our customize, under customize or company information. So those are the first two: profile, customize, setting up your company information. The last of the big three that we would like to have you set up before you do any business and before you come to the 2-day workshop. This is the big one. Folks, please have your buying and selling site domains purchased, and please have them configured in Investment Dominator before you come to the 2-day workshop and before you start doing business. An example of a buying site name might be www.leonardbuysland.com. That's something that would be typed in an address bar of the browser. Or www.leonardbuysdirt.com, something like that. And I'm going to show you where you can go check that out. Secondly, an example of a selling site, a little bit more glamorous, www choicelandforyou.com or www.paradiselandforyou.com. Or it could be the name of your business, you know, Sproutsinvestments.com, www.williamsinvestments.com could be the name of your business. So that can be a selling site name. So again, a buying site name, you just want to let people know, hey, we're just buying land, we're buying dirt. Don't expect us to pay top dollar for it. We are just buying land. Your selling site, hey, we're selling paradise land for you. We're selling choice land for you. So those are examples of names. All right. So once you have your names, you want to then go to a site. We're recommending GoDaddy.com. To go to your site, you can type in any domain right here in the search domain box. Type that domain in, like Leonard buys dirt.com, and you can do a search for that domain to see if Leonard buys dirt.com is available. It shows that it is available, right? So we're going to recommend you go there first. So the first thing you want to do is get your name, search, make sure it's available, and then for $11.99 for the first year, you can have your buying site and your selling site names, domain names purchased. So for roughly, 2 times $11.99, so right around 24 bucks, you'll be all set with your 2 buying site domains. So you first search, make sure they're available, purchase them. Then GoDaddy, if you use GoDaddy, they're going to give you a username and password. All right. You're also welcome to use, like REI Black Book. That's another domain provider, or another common one is Namecheap.com. Those will work, but our instructions on the Investment Dominator side are primarily for GoDaddy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call your attention to an article. Go up under Help and search our user guide. Type in the words custom domains. And when you search, you'll come up with a series of articles. Okay, and we want you to select for your instructions how to change your website's domain, custom domains. Left click there. You'll see a series of instructions. This is what we want you to follow. What you're doing for each domain on, let's say, GoDaddy, as you log into GoDaddy, here in this important box, what you're doing is you're pointing the WWC name record from the GoDaddy platform. You're pointing that to investmentdominator.com server, because whenever anybody accesses your site, you want control to go to the investmentdominator.com server. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do step by step. It has these instructions here. So once you purchase your domains, they'll give you a username and password, them being GoDaddy. You'll then log in. You'll come here and sign in to GoDaddy. Just sign in with the username and password they give you. All right. And say sign in. And it will default to My Products here. That's the first place it should go, according to our article. It goes to My Products, right? Showing you the domains that you have purchased. So the next step here is you want to click Manage next to the domain that you want to configure, because those domains will already be purchased. And you scroll down to the domains, select the domain you want to configure, click Manage next to that domain. Should have that domain displayed, right? Okay, so that domain gets displayed. The next instruction is under the DNS tab. Under the DNS tab, once you select Manage Zones, okay, that's on GoDaddy. So here's the DNS tab. Slot drop down, select Manage Zones. Going to be a search box that comes up. As the search box comes up, just type in your domain that you begin typing it. It will pop up. I want you to select it. And the record section is what you're going to see. And that's where we talk right here about the record section. You want to select the pencil next to the domain, the CNAME record in that domain. Okay, you're going to select the pencil. What's that look like? Right here, CNAME www. Now, see, there's going to be multiple CNAME records, but you always want to pick the one that's associated with www. Come over here and hit this pencil. When you do that, there will be a box that comes up looking something like item number 8 here, right? Where the host is www, points to investment. And what you want to do, now when yours comes up, it's going to have an @ sign in there. It won't have investmentdominator.com. You'll see an @ sign. So you'll see a sign looks something like that value right there. All right, so what you want to do is backspace. You want to backspace that @ sign. Then you want to type in investmentdominator.com. Lowercase, no spaces, just like you see here. This is how you're pointing the CNAME record to investmentdominator.com. You will then, under TTL, select custom. And for seconds, you're going to make it 600 seconds. It defaults to 3600, but you'll make it 600 seconds. And you're going to hit save. If you're not, technically, you don't have a lot of technical background, don't worry about this. I'm going to show you where you can look at this recording over and over and over again, and you can stop the recording and go step by step by step. Okay, so don't panic if because I'm going through this kind of fast, I realize. So you make that 600 seconds, you hit save, and when you come back, your WWC name record is going to look like mine here with investmentdominator.com, 600 seconds. Then you're going to scroll down. Your next item or task will be to set up a forwarding. Now, people, what a forwarding does is when people put in your domain name up here in the address bar, they normally do not put in www.yourdomainname.com. They normally just put in like leonardbuysland.com, and they expect the system to find Leonard Buys Land. They expect the system to find that site. So your forwarding is going to set up www. and leonardbuysland.com so that it gets forwarded to this location and they will find your site successfully. So that's why we're setting up a forward. And that's outlined in step number 10. You're going to come down to forwarding. You're going to say add. A box is going to come up, looks similar to this. Forward to. This is where you type in www. leonardbuysland.com. That's all you type in there. That's all you have to type because everything else defaults. Defaults to permanent 301, defaults to forward only, so you don't have to worry about any changes there. Defaults to this update my name server and DNS. So you just hit save. So now all I really had to change was www. and my domain name.com, and I hit save. And then you're done on the GoDaddy side. When you complete that next step, then your forwarding will look like mine, www. and the domain name.com. You hit save. Now you're done on the GoDaddy side. You've set up you've pointed your CNAME record, right, to investmentdominator.com, and you have set up your forwarding. Keep in mind, you have a buying and a selling site. So you're going to come back up here under DNS. You're going to hit Manage Zones. And you're going to select now your selling site name. You're going to search for that, and you're going to go through the same list of steps, how to change your domain. You're going to go through this twice, all right? Because once for your buying, once for your selling site. Once you've completed and you've set up your forwarding for your buying and your selling site, now you come back to Investment Dominator. That's going to be step number 2. You're going to map your domain at this point. So you come back into Investment Dominator, go up under Customize, and Website Settings Buying and Website Settings Selling. So let's start with the buying site. You're simply going to come over here and say change your domain. That's what you're going to select. All you do, folks, is just type in your leonardbuysland.com, whatever your domain that you purchased from GoDaddy. Say, yes, I've pointed my custom domain to investmentdominator.com via the WWC name record, because we did that work on GoDaddy, and you hit next. No changes here. Make sure it's www and then your domain. Hit click confirm. Now the system's going to give you an opportunity. All right, so the system is going to give you an opportunity to secure your websites. Okay, so when you get to this point, please do not hit OK. Don't hit OK. Click here to secure your domain. Now, because yours, what we do with Investment Dominator, we give you 2 free SSL certificates. SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer Certificate. That means it's going to put a lock on your site, like you see here associated with my site. You see this lock. If you don't secure your site, first of all, your domain won't work because we have it set up like that, but it'll say not secure when they try to display your site. So you want to make sure the lock is on there. So we give you a free SSL. So what you have to do is come over here and hit generate SSL. Mine says renew because I've already done this. Yours is going to say generate SSL. So you hit that. The system is going to spin for about 12, 14 seconds. It's going to come back and give you a message saying that your SSL certificate has been generated successfully. Give it up to 24 hours. And then you click OK. And you're not done yet because your domain will not display until you scroll to the bottom, hit update site. Okay, that takes care of your buying site domain. You come into your selling site domain, do the exact same thing. Change your domain. Type in your domain here. Click yes, I've pointed it. Click next. Click confirm. You should check to make sure it just says www and your domain name, whatever it was you purchased. For some reason, this takes a little bit longer nowadays. And once it comes back, it's going to give you the option to click OK or to click secure. Make sure you click here to secure. Get your free SSL, generate SSL here. It spins for about 14 seconds. Click OK. You're not done yet till you scroll to the bottom, hit update site. So that's the configuration and the mapping of your domains that you purchased from GoDaddy, hopefully. If you want to look at this all over again, just come up under your help facility, weekly live Q&A training calls, and click here to review the replays. Just come and find any Monday session here. I think our last Monday session was on the 7th. If you click that, you see I have a video over here to the right, and I have what are the Investment Dominator big 3 items. If you go 6 minutes, 30 seconds into this video, you'll get the explanation of signature. You could listen to this again tonight if you like, because it's already recorded. If you go 11 minutes, 20 seconds into this video, just slide the bar over to 11:20. I'm explaining to you about company information. And finally, 26 minutes, 40 seconds, I'm going through the domain setup all over again. So there's really no excuse or no reason that you couldn't play this as many times as you want and get your sites configured before the 2-day workshop. We still have people coming to the 2-day workshop, putting the whole class behind, because the domains are not configured before they come in there. And we're not trying to be mean or anything. We're just trying to stress the importance of having this completed. Please do that before you come to the 2-day workshop. Okay, so on to some other questions that we have. Now, those of you that are brand new, it's my normal procedure or process to take questions that we had from our backlog. I just want to clarify some things here before we move on to brand new questions today. All right, you'd be so kind and patient with me here. We want to make sure that people understand. We did find out there was some questions around, how does the LPG, how do we calculate, payments? It had primarily these questions were around the notes section up here. The notes section of your Investment Dominator is strictly for seller financing deals. So we had, and we're thankful that Tom did bring up the question about how Investment Dominator is calculating payments, because I got a chance to learn some things myself. But just want to point out to you that the way Investment Dominator, the LPG, calculates payments for loans, that was the question. How does it do that? You can log in directly to your LPG. This is your land profit generator. Okay, so if I logged into my land profit generator, I go to my land profit generator 2.0. This is where you have all of those videos, and I'm just going to show you where you can actually, bring it up here, where you can actually see how we calculate the payments. Go under document. This is just one place here. Come to download. Let's see. I think it's doc 14. Yeah, clerk sheets. Doc 14 clerk sheets. If you bring that up, it's actually an Excel sheet, and you will see that what's important for you to enter in, just if you want to see where we get our calculations from for our payment calculator. So you have to say enable editing. This is basically where we got our calculations from, is this doc sheet. So this is just one place. All right, and if you were to type in an actual amount that you're going to finance, make sure you have the yearly taxes, whatever the annual taxes are. And 153, and as you can see, and I want to make sure if there's a down payment that I type in that down payment. Now I'm going to show you, this is just one place. This is where we actually get it from, how we calculate our payments. And you want to make sure you put in your interest rate here, and it's 12.9. Now we want you just to put in the interest rate as a number. We don't want you to try to do the math and calculate the interest rate and put in, like 0.04483 or whatever. Just put in 12.9% and let Investment Dominator figure it out. And you'll see that the monthly payment comes out to this 117.82. So this, I don't want you to use this necessarily to calculate your payments, because I'm going to show you in Investment Dominator where we have this particular item. But I just want you to know that's where we get the calculations from. Now, in order to, the next question is, was the payment, or is the payment calculator in the Investment Dominator correct? And we found that it is correct. And mainly, let's see, if I go up under selling and I pick out one that I want to sell. Now your payments must, your records must be in complete ready to sell mode. I know I'm going through this a little fast, but between last week's and this week's video, you'll get a clear picture. Complete ready to sell mode is what the status your record must be in. Come up here under payment calculator. Okay, let me move this up a little bit. You want to get to your payment calculator here. And this is where if I was doing a loan and you see I have a sell price 599.90, this is where I'm going to enter my down payment. So this is in your Investment Dominator, and you can put in this information. You see our annual payments here are 135.87. Now, right here, just leave this at 12.9%, or if you're going to do like 12, if you're going to do 10.9, you want to say 10.9. Don't try to do the math to figure out the interest rate. Just put in exactly what the interest rate is going to be. In our case, we're going to leave it at 12.9%. Monthly service fee of $20. And if we don't put in a months or a term here, it defaults to 60 months. But I'm just going to just pretend that you didn't know that, so you put in 60 months. And you say summarize terms. This payment comes out to be $117.82, which I found out is correct. That is correct. I went into an industry recognized location called bankrate.com. Hopefully it will come up. Bankrate.com. Okay. I want to go, let's see, personal loans. Let's see, I think that's what I want to do. Okay. It's not looking exactly the same way it did before, but credit cards. What am I missing here? Okay. Credit cards, home equity, car insurance, personal loans, purchase. I'll go with this. Hopefully it will work for us. Okay, the loan amount, let's say I'm going to finance here is $51.90. But I want to get, you know what I really want to get to is their loan calculator. Come. Check it out. New. Okay, it's not showing me exactly. Banking. Okay, maybe let's see. What I really want is their loan calculator, and it's not showing me the same as CD calculator. And it has amortization. Don't think that's what I wanted, but let's see. Well, maybe this will work. Say 0. Okay. Well, this is not cooperating with me right now. What I was trying to show you is what I saw before, where I could calculate my actual payments myself without having to have, them involved. And it's not giving me the same menu. So, credit cards, loans. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go back and fix this up. But I wanted you to know, I wanted you all to know today. I'll find out what I'm doing different on their site, or how their site's changed a little bit. Oh, okay, here it is. Thank you. Okay, the loan calculator. That's what I was looking for. Okay. They switched the site around on me just since last week. Okay, long for 5 years. Okay, or 60 months. And I want to calculate with 12.9%. Oh boy. Just had it here. Okay, not going as smooth as I had hoped here. Back through the steps, see if I can do it again. CD. Loan calculator is what I'm looking for. Capital one. Loans. Loan calculator. There it is. Okay, 5990. I'm determined to get this so y'all can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, 12.9. 0.9%, and we're going to calculate. Okay, and 5 years or 12 months. That's we're actually going to calculate, because we have a down payment of $800, so it's 51,990. Calculate. There he goes. Okay. So as you can see, my payment finally, my payment goes to be 117.82 using this industry standard. Wow, which is a lot to get to. That's what I was trying to show you here. 117.82, the same exact payment. So this is being used. If you want to now see an amortization schedule, we don't have an amortization schedule in Investment Dominator, or we have one in Investment Dominator. However, it's not a visible amortization schedule. So what you have to do is come into a site like this, bankrate.com. Once you calculate your loan, verify your monthly payments, you can say show amortization schedule here, and the system actually calculates the amortization schedule right here. If someone wanted to see that information based on this loan, you would have to copy, this information, maybe put it in a Word document, save it as a PDF, and send them all of their amortized schedule, so they would know over this loan if they make principal payments, if they decide to pay a principal payment, how much interest they would save each month. So that's the only way we can do amortization at this particular time. Out of Investment Dominator, unfortunately, we don't have a way to show a visual amortization schedule. All right. Sorry it took so long for me to to show you that, but I just wanted to prove to you that the monthly payments that we're calculating here out of Investment Dominator is the same as the industry standard payments using the same kind of amortization schedule. So you can be assured that if you go in and use our payment calculator in Investment Dominator, that your monthly payments are going to come out correct for your people. Okay, we had a question. We've got a couple of questions I think I can might be able to knock out right now that came in today. If I don't get them answered today, which I won't, obviously don't get all of these answered, but I can get them answered by Thursday. Okay. I'm trying to get some that I saw was pretty quick here. What changes do you think happened in land business? Which I've got so many coming in here. I'm going to have to go on to one of the ones that we got from last week. Okay. We found out our payment calculator is correct. And so the next question we'll be able to answer today. Sean had a question regarding updating property size field on Investment Dominator. Okay. So what Sean is saying is when he inputs some records into Investment Dominator, they come in as prospects. All right. We'll look at all the prospects. This account, they've changed this account up a little bit. Okay. So the prospects come in, but when you go in and edit the record, there is in the acreage here, rather than you seeing like you see 1.6 acres here, Sean is seeing large numbers like, 15,980, something like that. He's seeing a large number, and obviously, this is not 15,000 acre parcel, but what's happening is they're putting the square footage, whatever site he's getting the data from, they're putting the square footage in an acreage field. And then when he sends it to the VA is putting this large number, which should be over here in the square footage area, but it's putting this large number in his acreage field. So he's saying, how can I, get it figured back to acres? You're going to have to use something simple like a convert square feet to acreage. And I have this unitconverters.net. This is something you can use, unitconverters.net, area square feet to acres, something just like that. You can Google this. There's plenty of these conversions that you can put on, and then when he can just come in here and take that number, 15,980, put that right into here, 15,980, and as you can see, it's going to come up with a conversion of 0.36 acres, and don't worry about the rest of the numbers, just put 0.36. So that's what you would actually put in. You take this number, this conversion, and put this number over here in the square footage area, and then just put, as you can say, 0.37 acres. Investment Dominator, once you have square footage anyway, will convert your acreage. So if you just took that field and put it over here, hit enter, it's going to convert to the acreage. And then don't forget to go up and save your records. Now we know that this particular one was 1.16, so we have to put that back. Okay, so I'm hoping that that will clear up for you. Like I say, go back into use a convert, unitconverters.net. something that simple will allow you to convert to your acreage, okay? And have your acreage be correct on your record. Okay, Vahindra was asking, I'm just going to get this last question here real quick. Vahindra was asking, can we demo using an Apple computer? And unfortunately, we cannot. It would be nice. I have access to, my one system that I have here. Don't have access to a converter, but or an Apple system. But what Vahindra is trying to get to is the Excel files coming in. She wants to know if she can use an Apple Docs file when importing into Investment Dominator. And unfortunately, that is something I do not know if the Apple Docs is going to allow you to be imported and choosing the file. To my knowledge, we have to use a .csv file. So somehow your Apple Docs file, in my opinion, would not convert. And what's going to tell you immediately is once you choose the file and you try to upload it, you say upload list. Usually Investment Dominator will come back and give you an invalid format message. So that should be the first thing you see. Invalid file format. If you try to choose a file and upload, I think the Apple Docs, and you say upload list, your results page immediately will say, invalid file format, and you'll know that you cannot use your Apple Docs file successfully to import into Investment Dominator. Hoping that clears that up for you, Vahindra. And I promise you, I will get the rest of these questions dealt with on Thursday. We'll have an entire hour so we can knock out the questions, and then we still have a couple of backlog questions which I don't think I'm going to be able to address right now. Okay, folks, thank you so much for your patience, and just want to let you know at the end of our call here the quote for today. You want to develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. That came from Dale Carnegie. So remember, develop success from any failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. I want you all to have a great remainder of your week, and we're going to look forward to seeing you here again on Thursday, 12 noon, 3 p.m. Eastern, where we can hopefully get some more of your questions answered. All right, everybody have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.